Oh my God! No, now we're finally. Oh, okay. We went through multiple stages. Mike was muted. Can hear me now. And then also the actual system was muted. Now, yeah. Nash at night. Like I said, I suck at the streaming stuff, so we're this. Hey, speed bumps, everybody. Speed bumps. I got the Alabama game going on over here. Yeah, obviously now people are starting to view now that they can hear me. Wow. Hey, so we're going straight into the schedule predictions. Yeah. All right. Where else do we start? So Iowa State, it's not looking good. And here, hold on. Let me get my statistics. I went through and add a window capture. How are y'all doing? What's up, Colton? Yeah, Rodolfo. Hey, is it cool if I call you Rod? I asked you that, and obviously I was muted, so. Okay. Also, a little sneak peek at what I might have been looking at for a future video. Ooh. Wait, hold on, no. Okay, we'll just minimize you. Shout out my dog that's gonna annoy the hell out of me. We're just gonna throw you up here. Okay. So what this is we're just returning production. Kind of shows you. You're gonna see this the bottom right here. I don't know if I can here. Let me go ahead and get my little thing going right here. This right here, all this stuff. The far left, that's basically the top prediction. What I think a team can do, and then the far right is the bottom. And then I just ranked them. So that's how I think. That's how I stacked. You'll see over here. That's how I stacked them. And I didn't base it 100% off the returning production, but that was a good way into what it is. And if you wanted to look at that, just look up Bill Connolly returning production ESPN on Google, and it'll pop up. You can actually see how different things are weighted. But so basically, Texas, you might be wondering, well, how the hell does Texas have a good returning production when we just lost Bijan Robinson and Roshan Johnson? Well, that's because they weigh it differently. And like you see, we have 85% returning production offensively. We're ranked third in the nation. Kansas has a lot returning. So basically, how they do it was the running back is weighed at 6%. So the running back is very little. Offensive line is very big. That's a high. That's a high weight. Uh, Obviously, we're returning 5 starting offensive line. We're returning the quarterback, wide receivers, tight ends. We're adding more in. So there's a lot to be excited about. And give me 1 second. Goodness. That dog is gonna be that dog is gonna be a new appearance in the whole Nash videos, Nash at night videos. That dog driving me crazy. Okay. Now, back to what we are talking about. So returning production. What's up, Tej? So there's a lot of returning production for offense, a decent amount returning on defense, which I'm actually very fine with. If you kind of look at who the stars are going to be, and also, I mean, we did lose Coburn And I mean, I'm not trying to downplay Coburn and Ojimo. Not at all. Not me. But one thing that's true about this is Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat played more snaps than those two. They were the two highest defensive tackles with snaps. So, take that information for what you will. But going into this preview, Iowa State. if you had asked me a month ago, what do you think about the Iowa State game? I was actually telling you, yeah, Chris, terrible that happened, man. He was looking really obviously it's Cowboys fans, but they were like, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, which I don't know about that, but I mean, he was gonna be a good one. And I'm just saying I don't know about that because I literally don't know. I pay attention to football, NFL football for fantasy football. That's about it. But when you go, and by the way, we're going to be bumping some Longhorns into the NFL. If you saw what I was looking at earlier, maybe a hint on what I might have been doing on that little Chrome search bar. But, so Iowa State, UNI, I mean, if you don't beat UNI, you got some problems, Iowa State. You got some real problems this year. Ohio. It's just, and here, you know what? Let me make it a lot less distracting. I know everybody wants to see more of Nash. No, you know what? We'll do this. Yeah, we'll go down the line. Okay, so Iowa State, they got UNI. Then they play Iowa. Iowa, not happening. Ohio, again, if you're not beating UNI and you're not beating Ohio, it's looking like an offer coming up. It's looking like an offer. Oklahoma State, you know what? We're gonna go back to the old way. Okay, yeah, that was a stupid way to do it. Okay, Oklahoma, that's an absolute L. TCU. I mean, what are we talking about? Loss. This is TCU that we're talking about. Like, Iowa State, it's not a good year. I'm not even going to have to keep on going through it. What I will explain is that the Yellows, those are games that I think that could be a possible toss-up. And if you look at it, back to the returning production. Look at our friend Cincinnati. It's bad. They lost a coach. They lost players. I'm not expecting a lot from Cincinnati, but the fact that I have them at possible 5 wins is saying a lot. But it's mainly to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know exactly what Pitt's going to be. Okay. So that's the only reason why I put it as a toss-up. It's a rivalry game. I kind of consider it a lot like a. Yeah, you know what, Tej? I mean, honestly, my realistic answer, you'll hear it in a minute on Texas, but I do think like there's a good chance that we give Bama, a nice Texas-sized ass whooping this fall. But basically, we're talking about the backyard brawl. Oh no, I had that for Cincinnati. Oh, you know what? I think I meant for that to be on West Virginia. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was supposed to be for West Virginia. Cincinnati. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they take a loss. Okay. So count that as red. Pitt on Cincinnati should be red. I don't know why I jumped West Virginia, but West Virginia, not a good season either. I have them at toss-up games against Cincinnati, Houston, and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, not looking good either. I do know why I jumped to Cincinnati because I was talking to them. But I forget what that logo is for West Virginia. You got to beat that. If you can't, if the logo doesn't even draw a name to it, you got to beat it. Pitt, that's a toss-up game. I mean, it's gonna I'm trying to think of what's his name. I'm blanking. Neil Brown. He's getting fired. He's getting fired. He's gone after this year. Absolutely gone. I mean, if you're West Virginia, you're pissed that you're getting Penn State, Texas Tech, TCU, all before the bye. I mean, you're getting those 3 games all in the first. Like, I mean, there is a realistic scenario where West Virginia's sitting 1-4 going into their bye, going to play Houston, toss up game, and then you have to play UCF, who has a good offense, and a Gus Malzahn, who's been coaching well there, with a senior quarterback. BYU, they're always going to have big teams that are tough and physical. Then you're going to have Oklahoma right after that, which I'm not. I mean, you'll see in a second. I mean, there's a lot of toss-up. You might have noticed over here, but there's a lot of toss-up games for Oklahoma that I have. But it's not going to be a good year for West Virginia. So Cincinnati, already talked about them. Houston, this is, if there was a team that got screwed over more than Houston, I don't know who it is. But, excuse me. But so basically, they're the only team that has to face TCU, Texas Tech, Texas, and Kansas State. And if you might have, no, oops, wrong thing. Those are my top 4 teams. So, to have to face all those teams, yeah, no, I mean look, it's a game that we should win. This roster, like, it's, you don't want to, like, it's really easy because, like, the other fans that have accused us of this, like, oh, you Texas fans, you always do this, you just do this every year, and they're right, but, like, we're underselling how good this team is, and I think we know it. I think our fans know it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore right now because I don't want to say too much before I confirm what I have on, statistics and all that stuff. We're in a good period of Texas football. From what I think I ran into on accident. But back to the thing. So Houston, I mean, absolutely screwed over. And here's the deal: do not sleep on this UTSA team. They have a senior quarterback coming back. I think Jeff Traylor walks out with the like. This is a game that nobody, I think, is giving a chance to UTSA. And I think UTSA, like, they played us well last year. I think they walk out with the win. Rice, that's Houston's first win. Then they have to play TCU. Absolutely terrible. Sam Houston, they do a checkerboard pattern right here. But they just have so many tough teams. I mean, UCF, that to top it off, like, I'm actually pretty high on UCF. Who plays UTSA? Houston. I wish there's a way for me to, like, you know what? Give me 1 second here. Hold on. Because this is how I'll be able to do it, where it's easier for y'all to see. Filter. Give me 1 moment. Okay. Save. Blur. Schedule. And then here we're going to go add this. Sorry about this. Yeah. Like I said, I'm streamer in training. Okay. We'll throw you at the bottom. And then we will... Oh, no. There we go. Copy. I'm doing all sorts of messing up right now. Doing all sorts. I'm just gonna have to add another one of those. Oh, add existing image show. Okay, and then we will alteration. Nope. This is just. This has to be content. There we go. Okay. Long time coming. There we go. Well, I want the stat. And you know what? I can also do this. Nice. Hey, everybody. Hi, how are you doing? This is. Yes. This is a great idea. Thank you for whoever led me this. Boom. Boom. There we go. Okay. Every time I saw Bledsoe, he looked like a grown man. Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of those edges that were popping off. I'll say Tap specifically. But I will say the defensive lineman that nobody's talking about that I am the most excited about is Vernon Broughton. Vernon Broughton is an absolute beast. Watch out for him. He was moving some bodies. He was moving some bodies. I was really impressed with Vernon Broughton. So now, hold on, wait. And we weren't talking about Houston or Oklahoma State. We're talking about. Wait, hold on. No, where are you? Be gone. Okay, we're talking about Houston. Okay. And you know what? We'll do it like that, yeah. Who? You're saying Broughton is not? Who did Vernon Broughton move? Go watch. Just go to the Texas clips. Watch them all. I mean, I specifically was. If you actually, you know what? There's a Baron Sorrell every play. I mean, I'll say I've seen all of our defensive linemen get manhandled at one point, but he's one of the guys that has it the least frequently, and he's one of the guys that moves guys the most. Like, let me put it this way: we were looking for 88. And then for some reason our eyes kept, and when I say we, I'm talking about me and this guy Jay Bass, Hard Texas Football. He's a guy that knows what he's talking about when he gets to football. We're watching for 88. Our eyes keep getting drawn to this dude who is absolutely getting pushed and, doing very well. And we're like, man, is this Alfred Collins? Because, 95, that's a very similar number to number 45. Number 45, Vernon Broughton. I'm telling you. Just wait. Just wait. It's basically on the Baron Sorrell. I'm not going to go back and do Vernon Broughton every play because we're about to see the season. And I'll be done by the time the season gets here. But you'll see. Yeah, it's just they just got a really tough schedule. Is what it is. I'm high on Jeff Traylor. Let me do that. I'm high on Traylor. And it's just Kansas State, Texas, Texas Tech, and TCU, that's tough. That's just real tough. You gotta not be happy. All right. Oklahoma State. They're gonna have a great start. They're gonna have a great start to the season. I think they beat Arizona State. I think they go into their bye looking like feeling nice, looking good. Everything's great. You know, life's good. And then they get Kansas Stated, and then Kansas. Kansas is a team that I'm watching for because they got a lot coming back. Lance Leopold, he's obviously trying to turn that program around. Kansas is a team that I'm not expecting them to be at the top, right? But I think they're a team that they're not that team that's just going to be out there getting pushed around and beat every game. I got an Oklahoma State, West Virginia toss up. I mean, they're just both really low teams this year, and you can actually see this too as well. Just got rid of that. Oh, well, I was supposed to get rid of that. I'm trying to go to this other one. Okay. I had it up here already. Goodness me. Watchability. Yeah, this is not watchable. Wait, one totals. Where are you? Okay, there we are. Okay. So, this guy, Kelly Ford Ratings, I really enjoy his stuff on Twitter. Go follow him on Twitter. You can see the K Ford Ratings, Kelly Ford Ratings. Really great stuff. But you can see this is basically how he thinks that the Big 12 is going to go. And I don't have Oklahoma that high. You're going to see that in a second. I think there's just too many toss-up games for them. But when you look at it, I think BYU, they're too low on BYU. I think Kansas, like I said, I think is a team that's going to surprise. But, really, Cincinnati through Houston, it's not supposed to be a big year for, and this is Big 12 wins, specifically. So this isn't overall wins. It's just amount of wins in the conference. But Oklahoma, UCF, Houston, BYU, not a good end of the year for Oklahoma State. They have a great start to the season, not a great ending. Baylor. It's going to start out 3-0. You're going to come, and they're going to have a home game with Texas. This is going to be a nice environment for this game. And then I think Texas walks out with a win. Because I think you're going to understand why I explain that in a minute. But then UCF, I just think they have a good offense. I think they're going to end up getting the win because it's also a home game for them as well. Then they play Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech is a good team this year. I do. As much crap as I want to talk to Texas Tech fans and Texas Tech, I think they're a good team. And I think they're going to be a tough opponent for everybody that has to face them. And Baylor's going to take a loss. They're going to go into the bye, get a good bye week, get a refresh. They were 3-0, three-game skid. They're going to come back, get 2 wins versus Iowa State and Cincinnati. Toss-up game versus Houston that can go either way. And then they got Kansas State and TCU, which they're going to take some losses, and then they're going to take their lumps. But ultimately, I think no matter what, they're going to be bowl eligible at the end of the season. With a win versus West Virginia. Country roads, take me home. Let me see. Let me undo this chat thing. Where I get this up here. Okay. Now we're gonna be moving on to Kansas. Now hey, I got a little I know. Longhorn fan with a sweet spot for Kansas. I know. Sounds bad. Sounds terrible. Horrible. I do. Really, if you want to know why. It's the stupidest reason. My mom's best friend was having a house sale because her grandma or her mom died or grandma died or whatever. And the only thing I knew, the only thing I like could possibly want in the house sale was a little Kansas Jayhawk trash can because I had recognized the Kansas logo and I was like, you know what, it's a cool logo. It's a cool logo. So that's where my soft spot for Kansas comes from. But Kansas, I think Illinois, really, I'm blanking on the coach's name right now, but really good coach team, a really well coached team. Uh, they're gonna win. They're gonna start off 2-1 Nevada, and then I think that's I want to say it's Montana State or Missouri State. I'm blanking on it right now. Let me just go ahead and double check. Missouri State, yeah. Should have stuck with my gut. Okay. BYU, that's like I said. I mean, they're going to be they're an older team, tough team, physical team. I'm not giving it to BYU. I think it's going to be, especially with a home game at Kansas. I think there's a chance that Kansas starts off 3-1. They play Texas on the road at Texas. That's going to be tough. I think they take a loss. I think they beat UCF. I think they have enough to beat UCF. Oklahoma State, obviously, get into the bye. And then this is where the Oklahoma shenanigans starts. I think there's a toss-up game with Oklahoma. I think they have a chance to beat Oklahoma this year. I really do. Really do. Iowa State, like I said, not a good season for Iowa State earlier. Texas Tech, Kansas State. I mean, they're just, like I said, they're really good teams this year. And then you got Cincinnati. I think they get a win versus Cincinnati. Going on to this, I've been praising this team, and this is where you technically start to get into the top half of my teams. I mean, this right here, this bottom blur, that's the midline right there, that little black line. So they start off with Sam Houston. Sam Houston gets their second Big 12 team of the year this year to start the season in the first 3 games. I think they win the first 2 games. They get the Arkansas. I think that's a tough game on the road. But BYU, I think they can possibly win that. I'm not going to count them out on that. Obviously, I just talked about the Kansas game. Cincinnati, I think there's no way Cincinnati can just hang with them. And I mean, they're going to be a young team, young and inexperienced. They go to the bye. They're going to need that. They're going to need that bye. But, I mean, like, see, this is where playing Texas, like, a lot of people that were saying, watch out for this BYU. I think, Rodolfo. Hey, Rodolfo. I'm right here talking about the Texas game. This is why I'm not sleeping on the BYU game. TCU and Texas Tech. TCU away, then they get Texas Tech at home. Then they have to fly right back to Texas and play Texas the week after. That is a tough stretch of games. I don't care if you have a bye in front of the TCU game. That's a tough stretch. They're going to be absolutely worn out when they get to play Texas, and Texas is going to have to play their worst game, I think, for us to be able. I mean, it's just. Yeah, I just can't see it right now. Maybe I can when I get back up to our get back to the Texas schedule up top. But West Virginia, get the win there. Like West Virginia, I said I don't think they're a great team this year. Iowa State again, Oklahoma State again, and then Oklahoma a toss up. It's that they're a tough team and. I have a wide range for Oklahoma you're going to see. I mean, like, obviously, I showed it over here. Uh, it's already gone. Well, whatever. But I mean, my range for Oklahoma is basically. Let me see. Confirm it. Yeah, I have them. They could be 10-2, and then they could be 7-5. And I hate to do that. Like most of these teams, I'm doing. It's one or the other. Got a dry throat. But Oklahoma, it's just man, they're it's just there's a wide range of outcomes when you start opening that box. Now UCF, I've been high on UCF. Talking about this, Gus Malzahn, he's been doing well. Senior quarterback, they're a lot of offensive production returning. They're going to start off well. Kent State, Boise State, Villanova. They start off 3-0. They take their first loss to Kansas State. They get the win on the road. No, yeah, that's a win on the road. One on the road to Baylor. And then they lose to Kansas. I think they lose to Kansas, like I said. So they start off 4-2. Not a bad start in your first year in the Big 12. Bye. Got the Oklahoma game. Could go 5-2. Could go 4-3. West Virginia, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State to really get your feelings up. Texas Tech to really start to level things out. And then Houston to end it off. I think they have a really good year. At least 8 wins, possibly 9. And to be quite truthful, they're a team that I'm glad Texas does not have to face this year. Oklahoma Sooners. Why do I not have the Texas game with a little yellow square on Texas thrown as a toss-up? Oklahoma's going to have to show me something before I can even start to think about this being a close game. If you get rid of the Texas team giving up their lead like in just spectacular fashion in 2021, I mean Texas has Steve Sarkisian. What he's done offensively to Oklahoma is not like that shouldn't be ignored. And if our defense is going to be who they are, unless they just have this complete game where they're Casper the Ghost and they just don't even show up, I mean, it's a L for Oklahoma. But I think they're going to go into that game 5-0. There's not going to be an impressive win in there. I mean, the most impressive win in that is Tulsa or SMU, you know? So I think they're going to be in the teens. I think Texas will be in the single digits, high single digit, or low single digits, I should say. I think Texas wins a game. They go into the bye. Couple toss-up games with UCF and Kansas. Then Oklahoma State, West Virginia. They're going to get some wins there. They're going to win their last. They're going to win it. Okay? I'm sorry. To all my fellow Oklahoma State fans, I know. I want to side with you. I really do. Trust me. Trust a Longhorn fan that they want to. I got my OU sucks signs right. Sucks. I've been moving them around lately, but got it sitting right over there. So moving on, we're going into our top 4 teams now. Okay, this is gonna get exciting. We got Kansas State up first. Now Kansas State, they're for real now. They're a good team. They got some stuff coming back, but 5 wins to start off the season. An unfortunate bye. That bye is terrible for Kansas State. All right, because if you look at you got to play. Yeah, you get to play Oklahoma State right after that, but then Texas Tech, TCU. Then you got to go to Houston. I mean, it's a lot of. I mean, they might as well rent a field in Texas and just get a hotel room and stay in Texas. I mean, because that is just You're flying to TCU, or you're flying to Texas Tech. TCU comes to you. You get a break. Then you're flying to Houston. Are you flying to Houston? Let me just make sure. Where are we at? No, you're not flying to Houston. Okay, you're not. I'm wrong. Okay, Kansas State is not flying to Houston. I don't know why I can't tell the difference between that shade. Oh no, never mind. It's not that bad. No, I was tripping. Okay, but nevertheless, I think a great year. Start off 5-1, 5-0. End up, you could. I mean, you could easily see a world where Kansas State is 8-0 going into this Texas game, and we have two undefeated teams playing each other. And I'll talk more on this top four. And actually, you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and just breeze on through this so we can get to that. So here you're going to see the rest of this top teams. Texas Tech. That's an unfortunate game against. I told y'all. I'm not hating on Texas Tech this year. I'm not. I'm not doing it. But or as much as I want to, I'm not. I haven't been hating on them in this thing. Oregon's a good team, and I think Oregon's going to win that game. So Texas Tech, I think they hit a little speed bump early in the year, but I think they're able to kind of smooth it out. They end up 5-1. It could be 7-1. They could be 10-1 going to this Texas game. They could be. They could come out of those Kansas State and TCU games just fine. When I mean just fine, I mean not like an easy win, but I mean they could come out with a win and they could be doing their own thing and be doing just fine at the end of the year. Kansas, I mean they're just a better team than Kansas, UCF, BYU. At this point I've already kind of talked about it, and I don't want to keep on repeating myself. But there's some teams that we haven't talked about, like with Texas, and you can already see what I'm predicting up there. But TCU, I mean they got it's a nice start for TCU. It really is. Their first real contentious game for me is against BYU. That is at home, which is a nice thing to have. Then you're going and you got Kansas State on the road. That's tough. Bye week. That's nice. Texas Tech on the road again. Then you get Texas at home. But again, this is where it's a favorable thing for Texas. You look at this. Texas catches not only... So, let me just get myself down here. Hi. Okay. Not only does Texas... Hey, what's up, Abel? What's up? But so Texas, like I said, Rodolfo, earlier, BYU has to play Texas or TCU, Texas Tech right before they play Texas. Okay. You go to Kansas State, and these are our toughest opponent. Like this is our toughest stretch. Kansas State, they got to play Texas Tech, TCU right before playing Texas, and then a little gap with Houston there. Texas Tech, it's not as close. It's not that bad. TCU, they have to play Kansas State bye week, Texas Tech, and then Texas. It's a tough stretch, and you're going to see I'm highlighting it here in a second. I mean I kind of already did, but you'll see it a lot more. I should have done that. Anyways, I will. But so here we're at the money. It's where cows finally come home. We got rice. Hey, it's technically Saturday. We have college football today. In 12 hours. In 12 hours, there will be college football. And in 7 days, we will be 12 hours away from Texas game day. Let's go. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Shot at Abel. There we go. did. And also, I'm not gonna lie, there's some questionable things to be asked about that around the Texas game. But nevertheless, yeah, a little Pat McAfee reference for those who don't know. But so easy win against Rice. Easy win. Look. If if we don't have an easy win against Rice, we got some problems coming our way. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Just scrap the video right now. Go ahead, find yourself a hole, and go hide in it. Ask your storm cellar. I hope you have survival food packed. Now, Alabama. Look, it's most likely going to be a toss-up. Okay, but the reason why I'm confident in it. I mean, originally the graphic, you can see right here, the graphic that's a different color for Alabama right there, you see. Nash, you were a little bit confident on that game, right? Yes, I was. And I still am. And the reason why is because I think Alabama has to run to beat Texas. And that's I think our biggest strength this year is the run defense. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate. Wyoming. Dub. Okay? Baylor. I mean, at this point, and I mentioned I'd talk about this, okay? Home game on the road. You got to realize something. We're afraid to admit how talented and the potential that this team is because we're scared of the repercussions of being wrong again, after being wrong again, after being wrong again. You get it. Battered fan syndrome. That's what it is. Texas fans will be, if we beat Alabama, especially how I think that we can, we're going to be a top 5 team going into Baylor. That's going to be, Texas fans are going to be that's not a far drive from Austin. And it coincidentally happens to be almost halfway from Dallas, where a lot of Longhorn fans live. I think we buy a lot of tickets to that, and I think that might be a home game on the road. Okay? Yeah. Kansas. Sorry, Kansas. I'm high on you in some other areas. Not against Texas. Dub. Oklahoma. Dub. Bye week. Dub. Can't lose in the bye week. Houston. Again. This is Wyoming revenge. Well, I don't know if it's not a revenge game because Wyoming was like a stepping stone. It's more like I want to show you what I've become. I want to show you what I've become, Wyoming. Okay? Yeah, Nair right there. Yeah. I want to show you what I've turned into, the man I've grown into. What I've blossomed into. Yeah, Big 12 Revenge Tour, dub. Shout out A-Bull in the chat. So, University of Houston. I've been, if you've heard me saying this in spaces or wherever I'm saying it, if I've said in a YouTube video prior to this, I'm saying it now again. That is a home game on the road. Dub. The reason why is in Houston. A lot of Longhorn fans in Houston. Ton of Longhorn fans in Houston. Small stadium. Those ticket prices, if Texas is 6-0, we've just beat Oklahoma, whether it's a close game, whether it's just an absolute blowout, ass whooping, whatever it is. I mean, Texas is a top 5 team, and it's looking real at this point. Like it's like we can't believe it. Dub. That's a home game. That's a home game right there. Texas fans will be buying tickets at insane prices. BYU. Like I said. Yeah, I mean, I wish Texas, like, this is one of those years where I'm actually pissed that Texas doesn't have a betting going on. But like I said for BYU, Got to play TCU and Texas Tech before we're playing Texas. That's tough. That's tough. They're going to be coming in drained. Kansas State. I've said it before. I'll say it again. TCU, Texas Tech again. Tough. TCU. I mean, Kansas State and Texas Tech. Tough. Iowa State. That's where, like I said, if you were to ask me a month ago, I'd have said Iowa State's the trap game. That's the game that I'm most worried about. Not anymore. Not anymore. And then, obviously, the end game. I have it yellow because of a certain something.
In addition, candidly, we were able to get Texas and Oklahoma out of here. That was a big deal for us, and I think all of you. Okay? And Coach, I'm not going to put any pressure on you, but I'm going to be in Austin for Thanksgiving. Okay? And you better take care of business like you did right here in Lubbock last year.
Oh my God. If we win, oh man, woo! Tech fans, it's gonna be a tough year. It's gonna be a tough year. Actually, tough long years. Okay, now back to what I was talking about earlier. We got something special over here, and that would be, look at this stretch. And hold on, let me do this. Let me make this bigger. Okay. Like I said, we're professionals here. Boom. No, we're not dropping AJ. We're not dropping 70 on her head. We're dropping 100. I want them crying leaving DKR. I want Malik Murphy. I want Malik Murphy in by the time the second quarter. I want Malik Murphy running the 2-minute drill in the second quarter is what I want. I want Sark to be like, you know what, we're beating them so bad. Arch, you get the whole fourth quarter. It's all yours. Here you go, bud. Now, here's the interesting thing. I do think that there's a chance that Texas Tech and TCU could have a rematch. Because if you look at this... did I... No, I didn't. Did I do it over here? Yeah, if you look at this, that's the next week. I don't know. Is it the next week, or am I being stupid? No, yeah, that is the next week. That we could play them on back-to-back Saturdays, potentially, if Texas Tech wins some games. If Texas Tech handles business like they can. Like, I mean, you see there's only one red, there's a lot of yellow. They can handle business in those games. There's a chance that we play that back-to-back. Now, this is just a wild scenario. You got my top 4 teams in the Big 12. And they all play in the back half of the season. All of them. And they all play each other. This is what you call cannibalism right here. This is big. The Big 12 said Pac-12 cannibalism. No, we gotta put our own stamp on that at the last year possible. I mean, you look at Kansas State. They got Texas Tech, TCU, and Texas in a 4-week stretch. No buys. TCU, one of the lucky bunches. They have Kansas State, Texas Tech, Texas in a 4-week stretch with a bye, so that's kind of lucky. And then Texas, Kansas State, TCU, Iowa State, Texas Tech in a 4-week stretch. no bye, obviously. And then Texas Tech gets it kind of the nicest with it kind of stretched out a little bit. But they also do have BYU stretch. And then also you could even factor in BYU in there because they got everybody else, everybody except for Kansas State has BYU. But so this is where, like, I mean, you look at this thing could actually get pretty nutty. The whole oh man. Yeah, but at the end of the day, lucky Texas Tech. They got to face a bunch of teams that are hard to play before playing Texas. I mean, we're talking glass half full right now. TCU, they got to play a bunch of teams that are tough to play before playing Texas. Kansas State, they got to play a bunch of teams that are tough to play before playing Texas. Texas Tech UCF game. Is that in Lubbock? Yes, it is. It is in Lubbock. That is and just to, so everybody can see real quick the schedule without anything added in. Boom. That is way too zoomed in. Thank you very much. No, we're not doing that. We're just doing this. Hold on. Ooh, like I said, professional. Okay. This is, you can see gray is home game. And then Texas Tech is down here at the bottom. So, no. So make it easy on you. Oh, no, that didn't do anything. Well, look, professional. We are professional. This is absolute home-produced show. There is no producer. I am said producer, and I need to fire myself. Okay, so there is Texas Tech right there. Boom. They got a lot of home games. I mean, they get Oregon at home. That's nice. But I just think Oregon's too much. Tarleton at home, Houston at home, Kansas State at home. I mean, that's nice. Getting TCU and Kansas State at home. That's definitely a positive. And speaking of travel, that's the other thing about Texas. I mean, I feel like I was one of the first people to be mentioning this. I mean, I have a comment on it before, I think, on Uncle Lou video, before I think anybody's ever talked about it, but where's Texas? There's Texas. Just hang with me for a second here. Yeah. Yeah, Wyoming gets TTU in Texas. And then there's another one, too. Hold on. Who else is it? One of y'all gets shafted. And Sam Houston. Sam Houston has to play BYU. And who else is it? It's not that bad, but BYU and Houston. And then you also have Pitt. Pitt plays Cincinnati and West Virginia. Rice plays Texas and Houston as well. I mean, there's a lot of duplicates now that I'm like looking at it and actually trying to pay attention for it. That's actually kind of interesting. And then SMU. SMU plays Oklahoma and TCU. Wow, yeah, there's a lot of duplicates in this whole schedule system. But nevertheless, back to what we're talking about here. You got the Rice game at home, Texas. We go to Alabama, okay? Wyoming game at home, that's in Texas. Baylor game, where's that? Texas, not far away. That's a bus ride. Kansas game, that's at home. That's in Texas. Dallas game. I maintain the Dallas game. When you play in Dallas, if you've played 1 year in Dallas, it's a home game at that point. You know, like it's no longer an away game. I understand the Red River's different, but you're like, once you've been in it, you should kind of, okay, this is what it was like. I kind of got the routine, getting off the bus. Like it's nothing's new to you anymore. Okay, that's in Texas. I'm not counting that as a home game, but I'm not counting it as a neutral game. But it's like a home neutral. No, DeGreen, I didn't. I said that Steve Sarkisian has scored 21 points. Like if you look at if you look at the first quarter, we won up 21-0. The way that we gave up that loss, or the way that we gave up that lead to Oklahoma, I don't see that ever happen. Like that was a very rare way to give up a lead. Like that was you couldn't find there you could not find a Longhorn fan that was sitting there thinking that we weren't in control of that damn thing. Okay? Yes, so Steve Sarkisian, outside of giving up a lead, which our rush defense was terrible, Caleb Williams. Last time I checked, Caleb Williams isn't on the Oklahoma roster anymore. So unless they got a magic guy that can really, play on the level of Caleb Williams, I'm not that worried about Oklahoma. I'm really not. Unless they got a Heisman level player, let me know if they got that. I don't see it. So Steve Sarkisian's shown he's going to give us a lot of points. And like I mentioned before, this defense, they're pretty good in this. Unless they don't show up, unless they have a Casper game, yeah, it's an easy dub. It's an easy dub. So I feel I didn't gloss over it. But Houston, like I mentioned, home game on the road. That's in Houston. We're going to just jet down there. That's a 30-minute flight back. BYU game, home. Kansas State game, home. TCU, that's going to be a tough game, but it's a home game. It's not home game on the road. But, like I said, it's another 30-minute flight. You're not leaving the state. Not a lot of, there's not a lot of jet lag going into this. Iowa State, that's your first road game outside of Alabama, leaving the state. That's the first time you actually have to take some significant flight hours. And then Texas Tech, home game, back at home, home cooking. You got Thanksgiving coming up. Is it right after? I think it's the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah, day after Thanksgiving. But sports, hey, SI Ticks. Yeah, that's a cool thing. The only reason why I didn't do this is because I have a season ticket. So hopefully I don't have to pay aftermarket prices and I can get a season ticket, but no guarantees. Because I could not get an Alabama game ticket through being a season. I was just shy on meeting the qualifications. Okay, yeah. So we played them right after Thanksgiving. Day after Thanksgiving. So they're going to have to wait on the turkey. They're going to have to wait on all the good Thanksgiving Day eats and have that on Saturday. Have that on Saturday after giving Texas Tech a nice butt whooping. But we got a game. We're going to be playing Texas Tech, TCU, or Kansas State the week after playing Texas Tech. So really, if you want to look at it, this Texas team, if we walk out 13-0, I'm not going to be piping myself down. I'm going to be sitting there pounding the table saying national championship now. National championship now. It's happening now. It's happening now. It's happening now. But I'm here to tell you right now, that is a crazy stretch to go through. We're talking about You got BYU. They're going to be a tough team. Yes, they got a tough stretch, but they're still going to be a tough team. But I think that ultimately that goes in our favor. But and not them being a tough team going in our favor, but them having played a bunch of tough games, and that works in our favor. We get the win. Okay, Kansas State, tough team. TCU, tough team. Iowa State, Texas Tech, tough team. One of those other teams, if we make it into the Big 12 championship, tough team. That's a 5 out of 6 weeks. No breaks are tough. If we win that game, I want a week off for our players. Give them the bye week that they've deserved and earned. Yeah, this is fun, man. Abel, you wish. Yeah. Hey, you know what though? Austin's getting crazy. Traffic is no. We didn't sign up for this. Did not sign up for this. But it's just, if we make it out of that tough stretch. Yeah, Abel. I'm too. Like, obviously, I'm sounding pretty excited, but if we make it out of that tough stretch, 13-0. Yeah. Like that's how big, and that right there, that stretch. That's why winning against Alabama is so important. Because you get one loss. The College Football Playoff Committee has shown us you get one loss. They're not putting a 2-loss team in. Now, maybe if they have to, and they have to decide between two loss teams, maybe. But you get one loss. If you use that versus Bama, you're pigeonholing yourself into playing perfect the rest of the year. So you're afforded one loss in those 5 games in that 6-week stretch. Use it wisely is all I'm saying. And I think if Texas were to go 12-0 and then we lose the championship game and we're 12-1, I think unless it's a situation where it's a Texas Tech or a TCU or a Kansas State is 12-1 as well, and then that's I don't know, and then I don't know. That's when it gets really tough for the playoff committee, and I don't even want to think about that being a possibility. But yeah, this is gonna be sports teams, absolutely. A lot of people moving to Vegas. Poor Oakland. Oh, I feel so terrible for that city. I mean, literally their sports teams are all now in Vegas. You can blink and the Oakland A's are going to be in Las Vegas. You got the Vegas Raiders. That's a reference to that. Hey, but that's a reference to UTSA. Look, Wyoming's not UTSA. UTSA is good. Jeff Traylor is a very good coach, okay? Don't put some disrespect on UTSA like that, calling them Wyoming. Come on. Come on, Abel. You can't be doing that. Yeah, I'm pumped for this year. I think this is going to be a really good year. Like I said, there's a chance for cannibalism at the end of the year. But ultimately, I mean, it's nut up or shut up time. I mean, you can go through the litany of all the different things, but like I said, my last live stream, if you were to put this roster of players, you slap any other logo on it, a Penn State, Oregon, TCU, if you were to slap a TCU logo on it, if you were to slap Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, any of these, not Florida State, any of these top teams, people would undoubtedly be saying this is a top 5 team now, preseason. They would be saying that. The hype is real this year. I feel like this, but it's not up for shut up time. If there was ever a year that you got to put it out and you got to prove it true, it's this year. But appreciate y'all for coming out. I think Nash at Nite is going to be. I hear my dogs going wild in the back. I'm not sure if y'all can pick them up on the mic, but got to let them outside. So sorry for the late start on this. I'm going to be trying starting these around 11 consistently, and I do also have a John Wick mentality. Hold on. Well, since you mentioned that, I got some, so I might as well use it. I'm gonna, and I mentioned I was gonna be doing a Dylan Campbell jersey giveaway today. I need to get my ducks in a row before I officially do that, but still going to be doing that. Just want to give you all a heads up on that. But John Wick mentality.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Yeah, baby. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it, but I made a meme saying it, and yeah. Which do you think is better for this year's team? A New Year's Day Bowl win or a playoff semifinal loss? A playoff semifinal loss. Absolutely. Because here's the deal. That means one of two things. We either went through the regular season undefeated, or we had one loss and we won the conference championship game. And we walk out Big 12 conference championship. We go to the college football playoff. Because that's, let's be honest, as Texas fans, that's something we're afraid of. We're afraid of being one of the teams that never made it to the college football playoff when it was a 4-team playoff. And then when it turns to a 12-team playoff, then, okay, now you got to answer to, well, y'all weren't good enough for the 4-team playoff, so that's all y'all are, right? And, it's just, at the end of the day, it's just trash talk that we don't want to have to, not that we don't want to have to deal with, but that we know we can't, we can't go back on it. But I just think what it represents, making it to the playoff, winning the Big 12 championship. And, you don't have to win the Big 12 championship, but like I said, if you don't win the Big 12 championship, you got to go undefeated in the regular season. And what that would actually mean is that, that's basically being outright champions without winning the championship. It's just, at the end of the day, I think going to the playoffs means much more than the New Year's Day 6 Bowl, because we've already done that before. We did that versus Georgia, and people are going to, people are going to point right back to that and say, y'all are right where y'all were with Tom Herman. And even though it's not true, it'll be kind of hard to pull it up. Hold on. I will. Hold on. Word on the street is Nash may have been, now I'm talking in third person, which sounds like a douchebag, but might have been looking to do a little bit of a playoff, not playoff, like a little hype game, because I did a hype video for the TCU game. John Wick, Vegas Knights. Okay. You may be onto something here. I'm I'm looking at the. Yeah, so I'm not gonna be able to. I'm gonna have to mute myself because I don't want it getting like I don't want my stream getting jacked or anything like that, But that is not the right one. Hold on, I'm gonna go to. Yeah, hold on. That's LV. I keep forgetting you're LV. Your A Bull and LV are very different usernames. Very different usernames. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't hear any. Is that the song? I'm not gonna lie. That doesn't beat the one that I want to use. That does not beat the one that I want to use. I will give a hint to the one that I want to use. It's a Big X the Plug song, but it's not Texas because that is overused. Let me. All right. Oh, this is the one. Hold on. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I can do anything with that for a edit. That's a kind of hard. No, no. You got the song right. It's just I don't. It's a. It's just a. It'd be hard to match it to playing football. At least for me, I like people make me up to be like I can edit a lot. I suck. there's there's a lot better. You got Texas Homer. You got Lando Show. You got Horns Behind Enemy Lines. Probably better than me. I know how to cut, copy, paste, stuff like that. Oh no! You don't gotta change it, man. I keep forgetting who you are. All right, so drop in the chat while we're still here. I'm make my dogs wait. Drop in the chat. Season predictions for Texas. Season predictions. I'll drop my official one. Oh, whoop. Right there. Yeah, 12-0, baby. 12-0. Also, maybe some other potential big news coming. Who knew? Who knew? I thought I was muted again. Let me see. Is this Yeah, I mean, like, so, and okay. This is okay. I do want this on record because I did mean to say this. No, that's not the right one. No. Yeah, this one. Okay. it's a tough stretch. It's a tough stretch. So I do think there is a chance that 10-2, I'd be like, with this team, I think it is. You're really undercutting what this team's potential is, and I think that's an issue. I think that's an issue falling right at, like, I don't care if it's 10-2 conference champs. That's a consolation prize to me. With how talented this team is, like, I mean, like, I'm telling you, I'm literally about to go do some research. I would normally do the research on this Nash at Night Live, but I want to be able to kind of, just hit y'all in the face with it, right? I'm just going to say this is a very talented team. Cape, yeah. Yeah, I'm high. I was high on Blackwell. I was very hopeful for what Blackwell could be. And Maurice Blackwell, he's he's definitely a capable run defender. So I think that does hurt us a little bit. I mean, but hey, Anthony Hill, you're gonna have to step on up. Depth chart's been set now, so guys are like, we just had that second scrimmage, and yeah, but here's my thing. Last year, and this is where it all comes off of. This team is better than last year's team, and last year, we don't give up. If we don't mess up and give up 31-17 leads, you don't do what you're not. You just do what you're supposed to do and finish games. Last year's team was 10-2. So to level off, that would be bad, especially when you have a better team than last year's team. That would be underperforming. That's why I think 10-2 is not. I'm not happy with that. I'm not, because it's now a third year in a row of underperforming. But at the end of the day, I'm not like yes, it's gonna hurt us. But losing Blackwell that's not gonna completely, take us out of the race. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're so confident in Texas that this is finally the year, is because there's so much depth out there. Now, I will say the linebacker position, the edge rush, that's not necessarily a position that you can be out there taking hits at, and especially early on with the young guys. But at the end of the day, we do have a lot of depth on this team, and I think that's something that this team can handle. We can lose a guy for a game or two. Or, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything else on that. I don't even want to mention it. But yeah, I mean, but this is Sark's team this year. I mean, and you know what? They're not afraid of saying it. That's one thing that I like about Sark so much better than Tom Herman was. Because Tom Herman, he kept moving the goalposts. He would tell us, "Oh, this is winning the Big 12 is success this year. That means success at the beginning of the year." And then at the end of the year, it's like you're 7-3. We weren't that bad. We didn't win We didn't win a conference championship, but we weren't that bad. Oh, so now you're not. Now you're successful. Now you're still successful. And he'd argue that wasn't that he. Oh, I think it's unfair to say this wasn't successful. Well, yeah, per your own words. This is not successful. Yeah, I'm hoping Burke, we really need him to. We need some help off the edge. The Edge needs to. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a large amount of fans that wish we could just go. Can we just call him Simonson now? Agreed. Lack of depth. I mean, I've been saying it. If you've been listening to me in the spaces, I've been saying the exact same thing. That listen to that. By the way, go listen to that on IT. They're on Texas football. A brand new Rod segment where it's Texas football theory. I've been saying the same thing. Worthy's a yards after catch monster. Using him, we were forcing him down on the wrong routes. Elite separation. Quinn limited playbook. I mean, this year's and then the depth too this year. Oh my goodness! I mean, when you're talking about Jonte Cook being on the second string team, that's some talent at the wide receiver position. AJ, that is a dream, and that's why we need to win. We got to win to shore that thing up, shore that commitment up. That has to be shored up, and the only way you do that is win. Otherwise, he's gone. You know what though, Cape? It's not. The time to imagine is over. The time to imagine has come and gone because it is time to watch some college football. College football is here. We have made it. Absolutely. This is amazing. And you know what, though? Enjoy it. Enjoy the season while we got it. Enjoy the season while we got it because this game is. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Not the Kool-Aid. No, I'm not. I'm not dumping any Kool-Aid. I'm really just saying this. Watch those seasons here. Watch those seasons here. I mean, we literally have. In just a couple hours. Hold on, let me pull it up. I mean, would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? Look how beautiful it is. Look how beautiful that is. We got college football. Navy versus Notre Dame. I don't care that it's Navy versus Notre Dame. It's Navy versus Notre Dame, dang it. We finally get college football. And then just go to the entire FBS. I don't know how that got so big. UTEP Jacksonville State. UMass versus New Mexico State. Ohio versus San Diego State. Hawaii versus Vanderbilt. We got college football tomorrow, everybody. Let's go. How is this not getting celebrated more in the chat? San Jose State versus. Is this a Longhorn? Did I do a Longhorn football stream? This is a football stream. Goodness. Louisiana Tech, Florida International. I mean, look, I get that this is not maybe the cream of the crop of the games, but it's college football. We've been dreaming of this. Thursday. Oof. Florida, Utah, baby. That's coming up quick. Oh, man. Okay, yeah. All right, well. When you say Brett, who are you saying by Brett? Who are you saying by Brett? By the way, ESPN, it sucks. I watched College Game Day today. It sucked. I mean, like, they had... And I know it's easy to say, oh, you're just a Texas fan. You're mad that they're talking crap. And look, it was more the pointlessness of the entire segment. They had a segment that was about what would, it was supposed to be like, it was like an entire like thing where they interviewed Colt McCoy, they interviewed Alabama players, and it was like gonna be, what if Colt didn't get hurt? Oh, Brett Yormark. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for that. But they had this entire thing, and it was just so pointless because it didn't even like what the entire title of the segment was supposed to be. It never even addressed it. It just ended off on Colt. Colt McCoy just said that it was really kind of an unfortunate thing for Texas because that was the game that propelled Alabama to greatness, and that was the game that Texas fell off down into the wasteland with. And then that's literally, boom, they cut it and ended. It was like, okay, you're just trying to trigger Texas fans. Mission accomplished. But it was more about the fucking fact that there was almost no point to it. But, well, with that F-bomb slipped, I think I'm hearing a lot of commotion out there, so I got to get going. But appreciate you all for tuning in to Nash at Night at 1:31 a.m. in the morning. And we literally 1:30, 12 hours away from right now, we will have, who do you think starts for Bama? I think Jalen Milroe. The reason why is because it's the most makes sense-seeing person in the world to do it. But at the end of the day, no, I think I do think it could happen. But at the end of the day, the officials thing, I don't want to hear. I'm not going to say I don't want to hear a single thing about officials all year long. Beat them to where officials do not matter. It's as simple as that. This is. I just disagree. You're still. Look, it's a great team, yes, okay? I'm not saying it's not a great team. But you're underachieving what this team's potential is. I'm going to have more on this in the future, in the next coming days, because the football's coming real fast. I'm just going to say all I'm going to say right now. This is an extremely talented team, and I think we're selling it short. With that being said, got to get these doggies out, and college football, 12 hours away. I'll be watching all day long. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Hook!